That brightness on, man. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Out here in Wisconsin, baby. Don't mind me, just waking up for real, doing a couple of runs. Head back home later today. Just to head out. Head back home for a little bit, then dip back out. Head out of town again. So, doing a lot of traveling. It's cool, man. It's cool for the most part, you know. It's me and Pierre, me and my brother, and so, but got a little story to tell. So, I'm up taking cast members to the airport, and gentleman, he's not irate or anything, but I pulled up and he threw his hands in the air and just got he looked like he was bad frustrated. So I'm loading up people. He walks over and he's like, "Man, boss man, can you please help me? Please. Everybody's been driving past me. Nobody's trying to help me. I've been standing here trying to get to a gas station so I can gas my car up." And I said, hold on. Look, I'll take you to a gas station. That's not a problem. All right? I'll take you to a gas station. It happens. I've ran out of gas before. It is what it is. I said, I'll take you to a gas station. But I got to do my job first. Let me do this job. I'll be back. So he's still upset. He's like, "Man, where you want me to wait for you?" I said, "Just wait right here. I'll be back." So I go, run the people to the airport, do the job. I come back. He's not in sight. So I go to my brother and I tell him what's going on. And he's like, seems kind of off, you know. I just said, whatever. He pops back up. He must have been waiting for me, in the hotel. So he came back out and he was like, "Man, I thought you was a private driver, so you wasn't coming back. I thought you was trying to play me or something." I was like, no, not really. So we're driving. So I said, "Come on, I'll take you to the gas station." So take him to the gas station. We're driving. And he proceeds to tell me, his circumstances, and we all go through things. Some of us get dealt a bad hand. I get it. It sucks, All you can do is help where you can, when you can, and do what you can. So, on the drive over, he breaks down in tears and starts crying. And he's telling me how he has a baby, and so now it's like, when a story just starts to get worse and worse and worse. Now, again, I don't take away from him. It could very well be true. But, he led with, "I need gas." Not that his baby needed food. He just led with, "I need gas." So I'm like, "Where you got to get back to?" He said he got to get back to Chicago. I said, "Okay." My initial plan was to give him $10 to gas. Because I'm like, $10 will get him anywhere within Milwaukee that he needs to get to. So when he said he had to get to Chicago, I'm like, okay, that's an hour and a half away. That's about 90 miles. Half a tank will get him there in his car. Because I know he said he had a car. So, he's crying. And I say to him, "Well, look, brother, I can give you 20 to gas. I can give you 20 towards gas." He's crying, "But man, my family needs something to eat. My family needs something to eat." So I said to him, "You could put 15 in your tank and take 5 to get your baby something to eat. You can put 10 in your tank and take 10 to get your people something to eat. But I got 20 to help you. That's what I got. That's all I got." So, this is where it gets comedic. So he said, all right, I can get it on the road. I can get it on the road. I can get it moving. So I'm like, right. So I'm sitting there waiting for him at the gas station. He comes back out. He comes back out and proceeds to pump gas. Now, I'm keeping my eye on him because, yes, I'm helping somebody. But, you know, we live in a world where you could be helping somebody and they end up robbing you. They end up stabbing you. So I'm keeping my eye on him. Got my phone in my hand, got my wallet in my back pocket, and I haven't turned my back on him once. So I'm watching him. And he proceeds to pump 4 quarters. $1. Out of the whole 20, he puts $1 of gas in the tank. And I just look at him. And when I say, let me just be honest. When I say the anger that came up in me, because I'm like, dog, you just told me that you need to get to Chicago. And you're going to put $1 in your gas. So, I got angry. And he got back in the car and he's steadily talking. He's still talking. He's like, bro, I'm just going to put $1 in and just roll it and see how far I can roll it. Because they got to eat. They got to eat. They got to eat. I'm like, so I'm not talking at this point. I'm just like, So, we get to the car. I'm expected to see, I said, is your lady with the baby? He said, yeah. Okay, we get to the car. He's still steadily talking, stating that, you know, he dishonorably discharged, incident, explaining the incident and all of that type of stuff. I won't go in depth with what he said. But he explained his circumstance, his situation, and I was like, you know, it's a tough break. So we get to the car. I look over. I don't see no lady. I don't see no kid. He like, bro, I'm going to go get them right now. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much. So I said, you take care. And I went on about my business. So, I know some of y'all are probably like, well, why didn't you get your money back? Or why didn't you this? Why didn't you that? Tell you why. I very well wanted to. That's where the anger came from. Because I very well wanted to cuss him out and be like, bro, you telling me you just told me this whole story, right? Now, you a man, right? And you saying you got to do what you got to do for your baby and all that type of stuff. You saying you came out here to do work. You saying y'all live back in Chicago. You saying your baby hasn't eaten. You being a man right now, you got a choice to make. You got a car that runs. You just need gas. You just got $20 from a complete stranger because that's what he was moved to do. All right. You telling me you can't take $5 to grab your kids some milk and take the $15 and put in your tank and go ahead? You can't take $10 to put in your tank and roll down a little bit more, you know, closer to Chi-Town and get your kids something to eat real quick? You really, in your mind, that processed this, you really decided to put $1 in your car and take 19? That's what you did? So, it would appear that I was finessed, right? It would appear that I was played. That, you know, that good Samaritan was taken advantage of. And as I drove away, I just got a sense, like when I say like, you ever felt the fire start? You ever felt the anger come in? And it just immediately gets extinguished? Like, extinguished, excuse me. Yes. Yeah. Wrong word. It just immediately gets put out. Immediately. And I just, this peace came over me because I was like, one, I gave the money. I gave him the money. So, I gave him what I could in that moment. Sure, I could have gave him more, but that amount is what popped up out, what came into my heart to give him. So I gave it to him. And the funny thing is, as we was driving, like I said, as we were driving, I was only going to give him like $10 for gas. Then when he said his kid was hungry, I said, well, I'll give him 20. You know, that way, you know, he can put money in his car and he can get his kid something to eat. Because that's what I was moved to do. Sometimes, if not most, a good heart will get you played. You'll be made a fool of at times. People will take advantage of it. It's just the way of the world, you know. What I had to learn in that moment was, look, man, I gave what I could. It's not like it's going to put me in a bind. I gave what I could. I gave it to him. I gifted that to him. It's his now. What he chooses to do with it is his business. See, I always would hear people, over the years, I would always hear people complain and say, I'm not giving nobody none of my money, none of my hard-earned money, because they say they hungry or whatever, and they turn around and take that money and shoot up or this and that. And, you know, I always felt like if you give a person some money, because sometimes let's just be very real here. You could be in the middle of traffic. You could be in the middle of trying to get to work. Hell, you could just be just having a bad day, whatever. And you see somebody and they like, yo, you know, I'm trying to get something to eat. You don't have nothing to give them to eat, but you move to help them. And you give them a $5, you know, go get you something from McDonald's or something. I know that's terrible, but, you know, but still, food is food at that point. I just can't put it on my heart to be on some, hey, make sure you take that $5 and go to McDonald's. Make sure you eat. Make sure you don't take, look, man, the person said that they're hungry. All I could do is take their word for it. The hunger thing, it's always as hard as my life, my family's life has been growing up, certain circumstances, certain situations and things, you know, whether or not we've been evicted, whether or not, you know, didn't have a roof over our head for 2 seconds, you know, whatever, just lost in life. One thing I could say for sure is that I've never been hungry. I've never had to wonder where the next meal was coming from. Now, everything that I've been through in life, I've never had to wonder where the next meal was coming from. So that hunger statement, that my baby's hungry, my kid is hungry and stuff like that, it just always touches me. Maybe that's, you know, maybe that's a weakness, you know, a weak link in my chain, you know, but, you know, I ain't no rich man by no means in the monetary sense. But, you know, I just try to help where I can. And, you know, this time, I could be wrong. Everything he said could have very well been true. But I can't help but get the sense that this time, nah, he played me to my face. Because I can't get over the dollar for gas. The dollar out of the 20. And I just feel like he pocketed that $19. And the anger that I felt in me, the words that I wanted to say to him, the energy that I wanted to put into my hand to slap the hell out of him for taking advantage, for using a sob story when there are people out there that are suffering, that do need help, and you're going to sit here and take advantage? And I just immediately calmed down. And I said, you know what? If he did play me, well played. I am a true believer in reaping what you sow. And I'm a true believer in karma coming back onto people. Whatever they put into this world, it'll come back onto them. So, you know what? You can have that. If you needed that $19 for whatever reason other than what you said, you can have that. I did it out of the goodness. I did it because I felt like that was the right thing to do, to help another human being out in that moment. Now, I could very well be labeled a fool. I could very well be labeled an idiot. I could very well be labeled, I don't know, some people probably would consider me a coward because I didn't speak up. But, and that's fine. You know, everybody has their opinion and stuff. You're not going to say it to my face, but that's fine. Nah, just play it, whatever. I don't care what people think of me. But it's, sometimes, you know, the goodness of your heart will make you get played. You'll get played. Sometimes you'll be made a fool. And, you know, that initial anger, that was because of that. Because if there's one thing I don't like, I don't like to be made a fool of. You know, I don't like to be finessed. But you know what? You know, you can call it God, you can call it, you know, whatever you feel like. Just this immediate sense of peace came over me, man, and I just let it go. I was like, am I really going to get my blood pressure up over $19? Am I really going to get worked up at 5 in the morning? It's not worth it, man. And, you know, as I'm getting older, you know, a lot of things, it's just not worth my energy, man. Like, it's just not. A lot of things. And, you know, I feel like as an individual, as long as you don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to be messed up afterwards, you know, you give what you can and you let go and you let God. I know I haven't really been looking at the camera, this light is bright. But, you know, and that's the lesson that I want to give out there. You know, hey, sometimes when you help people, you will be made to look like a fool. Sometimes people do just straight lie through their teeth. Crocodile tears. In the midst of that, man, let me sit here and tell you. And the funny thing is, we were literally talking about, I was talking to the individual about it. As we were talking, he was like, man, these people, I don't know what's wrong with the world, crying. I don't know what's wrong with the world. Nobody will help, this and that. And I said, it's unfortunate, man. The world's a cold place, you know. I literally said it like that. Like, I may have been real cold, but I was like, it's unfortunate the world is a cold place, man. And it's unfortunate that people take advantage of individuals, you know. Nowadays, you know, you help somebody and that could be your life. And he just looked at me when I said that. And I said, you know, so people help people and get played, then they become cold. And it's a vicious cycle. I literally said that to him. And I had to remember what I said. Like, can't let 19 die. Basically, what I'm saying is $19 really enough to turn my heart cold? Have me say I'm not helping nobody else in life. Anybody that's hungry, blah. Anybody that needs money or that, you know, they hurting on the street. $19 was the last straw. Nah, man. Nah. Gotta be a little higher than that. $19 is not gonna make me look at humans as just everybody as just manipulative con artists. Some people do have a tough break. Some people do need help. And I just hope with the amount of kindness in my heart that I do help the ones, even out of every single person that I've ever helped in my life, that I've tried to help, you know, financially or whatnot. If one of them truly was the only one that was telling the truth and the only one that I really helped, then at the end of the day, it is what it is. And, you know, I did what I was supposed to do, and I helped the person. If everybody else took advantage of my kindness, took advantage of anybody's kindness, then, you know, you just write that off, you know, and you store that up in your, I don't know, I don't want to say this, your good karma jar, you know, and just hope that one day, you know, the blessings come back to you. But I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to shift my heart. I'm not going to turn my spirit for $19. So I just want to say, you know, really put things into perspective, because that's what it really boils down to. Why am I angry? Because he got you for $19. He may have got me for $19. So is it really worth me putting in the energy? Some people, it may be. And I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking anybody where $19 would have turned you cold. But, you know, me personally, nah. The energy, it takes energy to really like shift your mind like that, man, and just shift your heart and walk around with that type of negativity with you. It's not worth it. So, you know, I end this video to say, look, sometimes you will be made a fool out of. Sometimes you will get the short end of the stick. It's life. And it's a lesson to learn in it, you know. Whether the lesson is going to be on some, we'll never help another individual again, we'll never give $20 again, or, you know, it's whatever, wherever you're at in life, whatever lesson you take from it, cool, you know. I just hope that if it is a lesson that makes you feel like you don't ever want to help another individual, I hope it's a lesson that allows you to grow, to eventually get back to a place where you do have the kindness in your heart to help an individual out. We all need help sometimes, man. It may not be in the capacity of what some of these people are going through, but we definitely all need help sometimes. I know everyone has had that feeling of helplessness and had that feeling of loneliness. Nobody's around to help. Nobody can help. Sometimes people can't help. Sometimes they have their own stuff. It'll put them in a bind. So, you know, don't worry about those moments. Little $5, $10, $20. If you could afford it, $50, whatever, you know, if you get got for some money, it is what it is. And I've got for way more than $19. And I still help where I can. So, you know, that's life. Keep it moving. Learn from it. Is what it is. You dig? So, can't wait to be home later. Have a good day.